Hey everyone, welcome back to Mindful Money Talks. I'm Alex.
Hey, and I'm Jordan. Today we're diving into a book that sparked so many fascinating conversations between us, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel.
Oh, absolutely. I think this book blew both our minds. It's not just about how to make money, but really about how we think about money.
Yes, Housel's core message is that financial success is less about knowledge and more about behavior. He writes, "Doing well with money has a little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave." That hit me hard.
Same here. And it's so true, right? We've all seen super smart people make terrible financial decisions. Or on the flip side, people with average incomes quietly building wealth.
One of my favorite parts is when Housel talks about luck and risk. He uses the example of Bill Gates, how Gates went to one of the only high schools in the US with a computer. That's a huge element of luck.
Right, and he contrasts that with Kent Evans, a friend of Gates who was equally talented but died young in a mountaineering accident. Housel says, luck and risk are siblings. It really reframes the way we think about success and failure.
It's humbling, isn't it? We often glorify hard work, and yes, it matters, but so does being in the right place at the right time, or the wrong place.
And that brings us to another big idea in the book. No one's crazy. People make financial decisions based on their unique experiences. Like if you grew up during a recession, you'll probably be more risk averse.
Exactly. He shares a statistic that blew me away. Americans who grew up during the Great Depression were much less likely to invest in stocks, even decades later. Our personal history shapes our money habits, often more than we realize.
So true. And Housel writes, your personal experiences with money make up maybe 0.0% of what's happened in the world, but maybe 80% of how you think the world works. That's wild.
It also makes me more empathetic. Like I get frustrated when someone refuses to invest, but maybe their reluctance comes from something deeper.
Yeah, it's not about being irrational, it's about being human. Speaking of being human, I love his chapter on Never Enough. He tells the story of Rajat Gupta, a billionaire who risked everything for even more money and ended up in jail.
That was intense. Housel says, "There is no reason to risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need." It's such a powerful reminder.
Right? It's so easy to get caught up in comparison, especially with social media. Someone's always got more.
And that ties into another huge lesson, the value of room for error. Housel believes you should always leave space for things to go wrong. He calls it the most important single word in investing, survival.
I love that. He gives the example of Warren Buffett. So much of Buffett's success comes from just staying in the game for decades. Compounding only works if you're still standing.
And that's something we can all apply, right? Whether it's an emergency fund or not, maxing out your investments just because you could, give yourself a margin of safety.
Absolutely. One practical takeaway I got was to focus on saving. Housel says, wealth is what you don't see. It's not about flashy cars or big houses, it's about having options and freedom.
Yes, he even writes that being able to wake up and do what you want is the ultimate form of wealth. That makes me think about my own spending habits.
Same here. I've started asking myself, does this purchase make me freer or does it tie me down?
That's such a good gut check. Another quote I love: "Spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money."
Ouch, but so true. It's easy to forget that the people who look rich might not actually be rich.
Right. And Housel is really big on humility. He says, less ego, more wealth. Be okay with not knowing everything and be willing to adapt.
That's huge. Whether you're investing, saving, or just living, flexibility matters more than having all the answers.
So, Alex, if you had to sum up the biggest thing you took from The Psychology of Money, what would it be?
For me, it's that money is emotional, not logical. If you can understand your own behaviors and biases, you've already won half the battle.
I love that. For me, it's about defining enough. It's okay to want more, but don't let it cost you your happiness, health, or relationships.
So well said, Jordan. For everyone listening, we hope this gives you some food for thought. The Psychology of Money isn't just a finance book, it's a book about life.
Absolutely. Take care of your money, and it'll take care of you. But most importantly, take care of your mindset.
Thanks for joining us on this episode. If you enjoyed it, leave us a review or share your thoughts. What's your enough?
We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep your mind and your money healthy.